Hello team and welcome back to the channel. So first of all, a big thanks to you for 2000 subscribers. It looks very good and we have worked very hard for it. Okay, so before starting the video, a small request, please subscribe to the channel. We upload videos on daily basis at 9 AM in the morning. Also, I'm running a new series, 30 days of DevOps, where I'll be covering all the required and important DevOps tools to build and deploy our application side by side following best practices. And also for the DevSecOps part, we will be using multiple security tools to secure our pipeline, source code, like application or the artifact, then finally like securing our Docker images as well as our cluster, like Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so in short, everything that is required in DevOps process or DevSecOps process we are going to follow, and I will teach you one by one. Okay, so each day I'm covering each single stage that is coming from a single tool. Okay, so I'm explaining everything to you, and if you want to land a good job with good opportunities as well as good package, then trust me, you just need to follow the videos from the beginning one by one without skipping, because all the videos are linked together. And like before watching any video, you need to watch the previous videos, because we are basically integrating everything, okay, one by one. Okay, so if you are able to watch all the videos and you are implementing everything whatever I am showing, nothing extra you need to do, you just need to implement whatever I am implementing, okay, by just watching the videos, then it will be more than enough for you to give a really good interview and land a good package in DevOps or DevSecOps field. Okay, also, like if you are new, very new, you can join my Telegram channel. There are like around 180 or 200 members where we discuss or discuss whatever issues we are facing, we discuss there. Okay, so if you want, you can join and you can connect to me directly there. Okay, that group is basically many to many, so everyone can send messages. Okay, now coming to today's topic. So today we are going to learn about Nexus 3, which is from Sonatype. Okay, so first of all, what we need to know, what exactly is Nexus 3. Okay, so you know, like for our source code, where do we keep our source code, right? So we have, for the source code, we have either GitHub or GitLab, right? So these two are like places where we keep our source code. Okay, and not only just keeping the source code, we manage them as well, right? Like when whatever changes we want to make to our source code, we can go on these applications, on these websites, and make the changes, right? And managing source code on these places, it becomes very easy, right? Correct? Okay, so there is a similarity between Nexus and these tools. Okay, so as I mentioned, these tools are used for these are repositories for our source code. Okay, the main difference between Nexus repository and like GitHub or GitLab repository is that Nexus repository is basically a repository for artifacts. Okay, so when we talk about artifacts, what exactly are artifacts? So as I have explained in previous videos, in case like we are building Java based application, then we build the Java application, we receive a packaged application, okay, in the form of jar or war file, depending on whatever we have defined. Okay, so these are artifact. Okay, in case of Java, then we have like in case of Node.js applications, we have nugget packages, I think. Okay, so these are also artifacts for Node.js applications. Okay, so artifacts are basically these kind of files which are having certain dependencies and everything packaged. Okay, so in our case, since we are like proceeding with Java based applications, so we will consider jar or war file. Okay, so you got the point, like what is artifact. Okay, now when we talk about Nexus, it is basically used to store these artifacts as well as manage them. Okay, for example, let's say like I have created a repository inside Nexus and I am keeping artifact. Okay, so artifact version is 1. Okay, next what I did, I created another artifact, I pushed to Nexus repository on the same repository and made it as a version 2. Okay, now we have two different artifacts. Okay, version 1, version 2. Okay, so when we are deploying applications, we can decide which version of application to deploy, right? We can choose. Okay, so this is a way of like managing. Then we have like multiple sort of repositories. For example, two of the main repositories which are very useful for Java based developers. Okay, First repository we have for Java is one second, let me decrease the size of this font 48 to 28. Yeah, okay. So first we have Maven releases. I will explain what are these. Okay, then we have Maven dash snapshots. Okay. So these are like sort of repository which we have, or which are the ones which are mostly used. Okay, so we were talking about artifact, jar or war file. Okay, so Maven releases, they are the repositories which are supposed to contain the artifact, jar or war file, which are like production grade or production level, you can say, which are immutable. Okay, that means if I am storing artifact, let's say artifact name is jar, app.jar. Okay, and its version is 1. Okay, now the thing is that if we are pushing our artifact to Maven releases, that means it is the final version that we are going to deploy to production environment. Okay, that means also it means it is immutable, like we cannot change it. Okay, but when we talk about Maven snapshots, let's say usually it is in the form of, like, it is written in this format, like 1.0.0 dash snapshot dot jar. Okay, so when we talk about like Maven snapshot, so these are like development level, or you can say like what is this? Yeah, one second, sorry about that. Okay, so when we like speak about Maven releases, these repositories contain the production level, production grade or production level artifacts which are directly supposed to deploy in production, and we are not supposed to modify it. Okay, but when we are like doing just some like testing and like doing deployments to like lower environments like dev environment, then when we are generating artifacts in that case now, like then those artifacts are supposed to be kept in snapshots. Okay, and we can keep multiple versions of snapshot. Okay, because there are lower level like they are supposed, they are for the deployment in lower level of environments. Okay, so in Maven snapshots we can have like multiple versions of an artifact, but when we speak about Maven releases, it contains the production level and the artifact that is supposed to be directly deployed to production grade. Okay, that artifact is like application artifact is completely tested and verified, and it's just going to be deployed in production server. Okay, so you got the point what is Maven releases, what is Maven snapshot, you got the point what is Nexus repository. Okay, and how it is different from GitHub and GitLab. GitHub and GitLab are source code management tools, but Nexus repository is a repository for artifacts. Okay, and see, artifacts are not just jar, var, nugget packages, but even POM files could be artifact. Sometimes we push POM files also. Okay, so I will show you like what are different forms of artifact. Okay, now you understand like what is Nexus. Okay, so now coming to the point, how we can set up Nexus in our Linux server or like any other server. Okay, so first of all, like the little hard way to install Nexus is that first of all you need to have JDK 8 installed. Okay, specific version I'm mentioning JDK or Java 8. Okay, so see, you can see here prerequisite is ensure that Java development kit is installed. So basically when I was trying to install Nexus, first of all it required that JDK 8 to be installed, so I just installed JDK 8. It's not hard, I will share the commands as well. Okay, so once you have installed JDK 8, and this is for Linux environment. Okay, so once you have installed JDK 8, you need to run this command. So what this command does, as I have mentioned before also, wget is a command to download any packages from any link. Okay, so this is the Nexus 3 package. Okay, so using when we run this command, it will download this package. Okay, then what we need to do, we need to extract this package. Okay, basically this is in like GZ format, so we can extract using this command tar space hyphen xf or xvf, whatever you want you can run. Okay, so what it will do, it will extract the package and it will generate a folder. Okay, just to show you, if I go here cd inside home/ubuntu, okay, if I run ls command, okay, see here red color, this is the gz file which I can remove, but when I extracted it, it extracted into this folder. Okay, you can see Nexus 3 whatever version is there. Okay, so using this command we will extract our Nexus package which we have downloaded. Next, what we need to do, we need to go inside that Nexus directory, and inside a bin folder inside, let me just show you. If I go here Nexus, then go here bin. Okay, yeah, so inside bin folder you can see there is a executable Nexus. Okay, this is the executable Nexus, and what we need to do here, we need to run this command. We need to give execution permission to a user, so that this executable, this application can be executed and Nexus can be started. Okay, so once you do that, like permission can be granted. Once permission is granted for the execution, then we can execute this thing. Okay, and for execution we can run this command /nexus space start. Okay, same thing, you just need to run in format /nexus start. Since I have already running this, so I won't be clicking enter, but this is what you need to do. Okay, as you can see, the steps are very clear, right? This command, once you run this command, your Nexus will be started, and it will take 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, and once you have once it is done, then after 5 to 10 minutes, whichever IP address you are running on, you can copy it here in place of localhost and call on 8080. Okay, so by default the Nexus is getting set up deployed on 8081 server. Okay, and this is what Nexus look like. If you see here, this is the IP address of my VM. Also, just to let you know, today I'm using a 16 GB RAM VM because so many things I have configured, like this one, SonarQube, then Tomcat, then Jenkins, then Nexus. Okay, and Docker also installed. So many things I have configured. So just to make it everything smooth, I have installed 16 GB RAM machine. Okay, so in this way you can set up. Okay, but the problem that I realized here is that you see 8081 port is coming by default. Okay, so to another option which you can do is you can set up your Nexus using Docker. Okay, so for setting up with Docker, what you can do, you can run in this format, and here but I have kept the port 8081, you can change it to 8082 or 8083. Okay, based on your requirement, and this is the Docker image which we use. So either of these two ways you can use to install. Okay, so I have used first ways only to install, and once you install, this is the first page that you will see. And now what you need to do, you need to click on sign in. Okay, and here you can see your admin user password is located in this one. Okay, so it will actually give you the location where the password is available, which you need to copy. Okay, so I have copied this path, then I will go here, let me go to here, clear. Okay, so what I will do, I will run cat command. Cat command is used to view the contents of a file. So this is the file, and when I put cat, it will view the contents. Okay, click enter, and see till here, till 9, it is the the password. Okay, so I will copy this, because see, root is the username, so we don't need root. So once I copy this, I can paste it here, and username you can see admin. Okay, and don't worry, this password is long because they will give you the opportunity to change the password here. Okay, so new password I will just keep as Aditya to make it easy. Okay, and click next. Enable anonymous access, yes, click next, and yeah, now we have, you can see we have logged in with admin user. Okay, now what I want to show you is this option, browse. So this is the place where you can see by default whatever repositories are coming. Okay, so you can see here Maven Central, Maven Public, Maven Releases, Maven Snapshots, Nugget group, Nugget hosted. Okay, so most useful repositories that that are used is Maven Releases and Maven Snapshots. So in our case, what we are going to do, since we are not having any snapshots, and why it is not having snapshot, that also I will just show you in a minute. Okay, we are going to use Maven Releases to push our artifacts to Nexus repository. Okay, and this is the repository. Maven Releases is the name of repository on which we will push our files. Okay, I hope you got the point. Okay, now what I want to show you, if I go to repositories, See, these were the default ones, but in case you want to create your own repository, that also you can do. You can just click on create repository. Okay, one more thing which I forgot to tell you, like in my previous company when I was working, so in Nexus the private Docker registry was also configured. Okay, so like as of now we are using a public Docker registry on Docker Hub, but you can use Nexus also to configure a Docker registry. Okay, you can see recipe is available, Docker group hosted a proxy. So depending on the requirement, you can select the one and you can create a private registry. So this option, this creating private registry from Nexus, I will be showing after this 30 days of DevOps, because as of now it's not required because we are already using a public Docker Hub repository. Okay, but I'm just showing you, like in case you want different form of like, see, even for Python also you can create, for Python packages you can create a Python repository. Okay, Yum is for like I think CentOS something, then Ruby Gems. So lot of like options are available, but for now what we are going to do, we are going to use Maven releases. Okay, now I want to show you how do we configure it, right? Okay, so I will go to this option which says settings, go to Maven releases, and here you can see some details are available, right? Name is this one and URL is this one. Okay, now where exactly do we need to configure? So let me copy the URL and let me show you. So basically the ID, this name is a name also and ID also we can configure, or we can like call it. Okay, so name, name, ID and the URL we need to configure in our POM file. Okay, so this is the POM file and we need to like provide, see, the thing is Nexus server, as you see, is a different server which we need to integrate with our project as well as Jenkins, so that we can push our artifacts. Okay, it's possible that it might be seeming boring to you, but trust me, like Nexus is very important tool for you to know. Okay, now what I want to show you, what things we need to add in our POM. So these two things we need to add in our POM. Okay, first of all, what I will do, I will paste the URL here which I have copied. This is the repository URL on which we need to push, and this is the ID, and same is name. Okay, also, like in case you are using a snapshots, then you need to add another one where you will provide ID, name as Maven snapshots, and URL will be the URL this one. Okay, but as of now, since we are not having any snapshots, so we will just go with Maven releases. Okay, so this one thing we need to add first. After that we need to add this section also, distribution management. Okay, here also we need to provide the URL, and let me paste it, URL pasted, and since it is there, so I will just add it for snapshots also, even though we are not going to use snapshots. Okay, so these two things needs to be added in our POM file. And if I show you, if I go to POM file of pet clinic application, we need to find where is distribution management. Yeah, so distribution management is here. First of all, I will change the URL of our repository. Okay, and next we need to change the, okay, this we don't need to change because we don't have Maven snapshots. Okay, next we need to find repository. Okay, so let's see, let me just search directly. C30, yeah, here we have, you can see here I have already configured, so I will just change the URL. See, when you are forking this application and you want to configure yours, remember two things you need to change. One is inside distribution management, second is inside repository. See, repository is two places inside, one is inside distribution management, and second repository will be inside repositories. Okay, this tag. So two places you need to change, and here you can see I have changed now. I hope this is the, let me check if it is the correct one. Yeah, okay, so this is done. Next what I will do, I will just save it. Okay, so this part done. Now we need to, what we need to do, see, also, like, remember, you can see these are the stages we wrote yesterday, but I have configured it today again. It took quite some time. Okay, no issues. So next what we need to do, we need to go to manage Jenkins, go to manage plugins, and inside available plugins you need to search for one plugin which I have already installed. Just to show you the name, let me show you. Config file provider. Okay, you can just note it down maybe, because this is the plugin that is required. Okay, so once you install it, inside manage Jenkins this option will be appearing, managed files, right? So we will open it. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to add a new config. Click on this, and here we will select global Maven settings. Okay, global Maven settings or Maven settings, anything is fine. Let me just check global Maven settings which can be referenced with Apache Maven jobs. Okay, same thing only. Global is like global will be, it will be having a global scope, I guess. Okay, so click next. It's fine. Okay, so what I want to show you. So see, URL we have configured in our POM file. Next, what we need to do, we need to provide we need to do authentication, right? So for authentication, if I scroll down, we should be able to see something known as servers. Correct? You can see servers. I don't know if I can expand it. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to 1 second, let me remove this, uncomment, put it here, and yeah, now see we have uncommented. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to provide ID, which is the repository name. So if I undo this, and ID we have is Maven dash releases, right? Okay, and then we need to provide the username and password. So username, password I want to provide as what was the password? Admin is username, and password would be this one, Aditya. Okay, one more thing I want to show you, that in case you don't want to provide put username password because it is visible, right? In case you don't want to do that, what you can use server credentials. If I open it, here we need to provide the repository ID, which is Maven releases, and credentials. Inside credentials, we can simply add as username and password. Okay, but it's fine, like you understand, like you can add it here also, but I will just go with this. Okay, click on submit. Okay, so as of now what we have done, like we have configured our POM file for the URL of Nexus repository, and we have created a settings file. Let me just show you again where is settings file. For settings files option to appear, you need to install the plugin config file provider. Okay, so then this option will be appearing, managed Jenkins. Let's open it, and here you can add a new file config. You can either use my global settings or you can use Maven settings. Okay, anything is fine. Okay, so once you have done that, next what you need to do, you need to configure your pipeline. But before configuring, I want to build it so that a new code, latest code, which is having the changes inside the POM can be fetched in our Jenkins. Okay, so once it completes, then what we can do, we can start with configuring or adding another stage of Nexus. Okay, so let's do that. Okay team, so once you have configured this config file provider plugin, and you have configured my global settings, next thing what we can do, we can directly deploy the application to Nexus. So okay, first of all what we need to do, we need to go to Nexus. Okay, go to settings, go to repositories, then Maven releases, and here if scroll down, and here you can see layout policy, so change it to permissive, scroll down, and deployment policy. So since we want to overwrite the file as of now, okay, because if any new update is coming, we can just overwrite. So we will click on allow redeploy. Okay, then click on save. So this will save the file. Okay, next what we need to do, we need to add this stage now. So I will copy this build stage, paste it here. Let's remove the stage as of now, the command. Okay, next to write the stage, write the steps to execute the deployment. First of all, we cannot just write sh Maven deploy, because as I mentioned, URL of the Maven Nexus repository is mentioned inside POM file, but the authentication is inside the my global settings file, right? Okay, so first of all what we need to do, we need to make sure that the credentials is accessible to Jenkins for deployment, during the deployment. Okay, so we will use the pipeline syntax. Go here, search for config file provider, you can see, click on it. We will select the file, and in variables you can provide anything. Okay, for example, Maven settings. Okay, this will be used as variable. Okay, so and I will generate this script. Let's copy it and paste it inside the steps place. Okay, yeah, paste here. Okay, now we need to write the code for deployment here. Now let me put, yeah, like this. Let's add some space also. Now here we need to write shell command sh double quotes mvn -s. Okay, now we need to provide the variable. This variable is basically will call out the global settings file, and then credential inside that we have defined will be used. So variable name that we have set up is Maven settings, right? Let me correct the match the spellings. Maven settings. Okay, okay, now we can write Maven settings clean deploy. Okay, and since we don't want to run the test cases, so I will use the parameter argument d skip tests equal to true. Okay, now let's click on apply and let's click on build now. Okay, and we can, okay, sorry, okay, stages name, I think we have two stage name as same, which every time I tell you, but every time I also forget. Sorry about that. So let me change the stage name, which will be Maven deploy to Nexus. Okay, click on apply and let's see. Now we can build, click on build now and let's see. So we can track the progress in console output here. Okay, and you can see like compilation done. Now it is running the test cases, and in this project we are having 62 test cases. Also see tomorrow another video I'll be uploading, which is about the packages, like how much packages is a fresher, a 1 year experience, 2 years experience, 3 year experience, and 4 year experienced people or DevOps engineers are getting. Okay, and my analysis will be based on like whatever information I have from like my experience, from my friends' experience, as well as whatever we can find on Google. Okay, so combining that, I will present to you a proper report which will help you to understand like how much package or how much salaries like these people with like fresher or 1, 2, 3, 4 year experience are getting. Okay, so everything we will be discussing tomorrow in detail, so make sure to watch that video as well, because that is going to be quite useful for you. Okay, okay, so you can see now it is running the dependency check stage, and since we have already downloaded all the databases containing the information, so it won't be too long, and you can see it is able to find lots of vulnerabilities also, which might be able to be fixed by developer team. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay, so next what stages we are having. Okay, now we are deploying the application artifact. Okay, so let me scroll down. Okay, so it's success. Now what I want to see, yeah, if you see here, uploaded to Maven releases. Okay, same thing here also, uploaded to Maven releases, and this is the main file, main artifact war file. It is able to upload, and this is success. So if I go to Nexus repository, go to browse, then Maven releases, and you can see here artifact is generated. This is the package 5.3.13. this is the package. If I expand it, you can see the war file is exist here. Total size is 25.5 MB, and today is Saturday, June 3, so just now it has been uploaded. Okay, this is good, right? If I go back to our pipeline, we can be able to see. Okay, you can see how many stages we have completed till now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stages, right? And don't worry, there will be more than how many stages we are next, like Docker build, Docker publish, then Docker deploy. 3 stages, total 3, means like 3 I think total 11 or 12 stages will be in our pipeline, 11 or 12, 12 or 13 I think, because after deployment we are going to do a OWASP zap analysis also, which I will be showing you. Okay, so you can see how good like we have written the pipeline, and this looks good. Also our application is deployed. You can see, since we are using like Tomcat server for deployment, so this is quite easy. When we start with the Docker deployment and Kubernetes deployment, then we will be using a better full-fledged application. Okay, meanwhile one more thing I want to do, which is to copy this artifact thing, copy this whole, what's that, pipeline. Okay, because it's going to be useful for us. Also, you don't need to worry, these files I'll be sharing to you as well. This like which you need to add in your POM file. But remember, in your case this URL will be changing because you will be setting up Nexus somewhere else. Okay, so I hope this video was useful for you. You have learned something new today. Okay, so make sure to implement it to understand it in a better way. Okay, so have a nice day and thanks for watching.